Hi, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap No Filter. I'm your host, Molly G, back at y'all another episode of Running With You. And today we got to run about Taraji P. Henson. She's on, I think, Keke Palmer's podcast, I believe. And once again, we have another woman in their 40s and 50s saying she shouldn't have messed with the bad boy and she should have messed with the good guy. This has been a reoccurring theme, just proving that red pill side of the internet right all the time. I don't believe Taraji is married. I think she's single. So if anybody want to fact check that, put it down in the comment section. But without further ado, let's get into the video. I haven't watched this, so we're gonna react to it together.
Green flag that you maybe passed up in your 20s that now you're like, oh, this is a go.
A green flag that I passed up in my 20s.
Yeah, like sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want the guy that's blah blah. But like now, when we get older, we're like,
the
oh,
nerd.
Yeah,
the good boys. I was into them. Let me be quiet. I'm from DC, so
yeah. I think she said that should give you a hint. I think I used to find myself into aloof people when it's like you think that makes them interesting, but it's like no, they just don't have anything going on. But you think it's unique.
No, I like the bad boys.
Wow.
I was into them.
Once again, another woman that's in her 40s, probably even 50s, unmarried because her whole youth in the prime, she was into the bad boys. Now, not saying the bad boys couldn't elevate and change their life around and started becoming mature, started becoming responsible, things of that nature. But for the most part, though, it's a lot of good men out here, bro. A lot of good men out here that got passed up on because it was a good dude. Like, it's just simple as that. The good guy finished last rhetoric is still alive and well. And this red pill side of the internet has more content to say I told you so from. But I don't think this is just black women. I think this is all women. A lot of women like that urge and that sense of living life on the edge, that he's dangerous, so he's could provide security. He's well respected in the streets from his peers, so he could provide security. When I'm out with him, I feel safe. It's a flex to my friends that I'm actually dating this guy, versus the guy who's the good guy, who's pretty much has responsibility, maturity, stable, which can oftentimes be perceived as boring, and this happens a lot. And these guys tend to get passed up by black women and tend to date girls who find these traits attractive, which usually be women that's not black women. Now, I always find it funny how come these type of men in certain type of black women that find these things attractive, that look for these type of men, how come these two don't pair bond more often than we like to see? I don't know, because it seems like those type of women go for white men and those type of men go for white girls. Why they don't go for each other, I don't know. But this happens a lot, man. It's nothing new. I think every good girl gonna have their fair share of dating bad boys at some point of their life. It's usually early on because that's what's attractive. The guys who dress a certain way, the guys who talk a certain way, even guys who have a lot of social proof with women, and they all tend to be the bad boys.
I feel like the bad boys always was liking me, and I'm like, I don't want to go to the trap house again.
This right here is cap. Not just the bad boys liked you. They had good men like you, especially if you were attractive. And I would go as far as to say, even if you were not that attractive, good boys still liked you, because a lot of the good men, they're not as shallow as the bad boys. The bad boys want the fine shit, but the good dudes, they don't too much care. They just want a woman who's feminine. They just want a good woman. Now, some bad boys, they don't end up dating fine shit as well. But for the most part, when they just having a fun, they want some fine shit.
I did a few times, and it's like, it's boring in there.
Yeah, well, the trap house is where you can find me.
love that so
Well, I
much.
was young and dumb. I grew up, you
Yeah,
know.
no, yeah. I mean, our tastes change. I was seeing an interview with Sierra where she's like, the palette changes.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
As you get older, you want different things out of life.
You want different things.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, man, and it's just gonna keep going on. This is gonna keep repeating themselves. Even with men, I don't think men are you know not out of the realm of these conversations as well. We date the girls we don't supposed to be dating sometimes we date the girl who find that it's probably rumors that she got around, or it's red flags that she get around, but we date her anyway and we got our heart broken. So just like how we condemn women for dating the bad boys, we got to condemn ourselves sometime and stop dating the bops who get around, which ultimately break our heart and now turn us even more cold. And it's going to be even more of a cycle that's going to continue to go. But ladies, I want to know if y'all got any experiences dating the bad boys, like in your early dating life, and then as time went on, you started focusing more on stability, you started focusing more on maturity, you started focusing more on education, 401ks, and even if you was still dabbling with guys that was in the street, you started dabbling with guys that was in the street that had more of common sense, more of a mature way they go about handling their business in the street. Because I think when women first start out, they deal with the crash outs, they deal with the guys who don't have no type of emotional maturity. They ready to just flash out at any moment. And to women, that could be exciting, that could be exhilarating. That first guy that roughed them up or whatnot, told them shut up, told them what to do. Because a lot of black women, they feel like a man has to quote unquote handle them, and that's the type of dude that's going to handle them, rather than the good guy. He's basically going to just try to talk, or he going to give you your space. But I don't know what y'all think down in the comment section below, man. Share me your experiences. I'm trying to build a community, no judgment free type of atmosphere I'm trying to make. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, what you're waiting on. Until next time, I'm out.